Hey class, and welcome to this week's lesson, lesson 13. We are right there at the end. Just a couple weeks left. I know things have been crazy probably for lots of you over these last 3 or 4 weeks, myself included. I mentioned last week, I apologize for getting that video up late. As I kind of mentioned, I know a lot of the country's working from home, so a lot of people might think, oh, maybe I'm working from home, right? And I'd have more time to get things graded and things done, but it's the opposite for me. I've been working like 10, 11-hour days, working Saturdays. It's been nuts with everything that's going on. And that's, again, I mentioned last time, I work in food, and because a lot of the frenzy of people buying stuff in the store, we think about back to our project that we're doing, talking about demand and percentage of demand. That has a huge impact on the business, right? We normally operate at a estimated demand. Well, when that demand doubles, we have to figure out how to react to that. So it's been busy, to say none the least, with work. It's kind of crazy. I hear all these things about the world shutting down and having time at home. It's been like opposite for me. So I hope you're all staying safe. If you're having issues with like getting, if you traditionally went somewhere for your internet and you no longer can do that, when you have a chance, just reach out to me, let me know, and I'll work with you. So this week, as I mentioned, getting real close to the end. In fact, after this week, we won't have any new material. Next week should just be kind of some review stuff, a few little pointers and everything. But this is actually our last week of the group project. So I want to jump in and talk about that. This week with the group project, this is where you are going to compile everything you've done all semester long. Now the nice thing is there's a template that tells you what each slide should have on it. And I want you to really utilize that template, because that's what I'm going to be using for grading, as I'm going to see how well you followed along. We talked about this, I believe, a couple weeks ago about in PowerPoint, you don't want your slide to be, like a paragraph long or lots and lots of bullet points and stuff like that. You want it to be simple. You want it to look good. Use professional looking pictures. It's not that it can't have text on it, but just really simple text. Now, traditionally, in a class where you would go to the class, you would probably give this presentation. In this case, we're not able to do that. So what you can do to kind of more explain yourself on each slide is don't put all what you would want to say on the slide. Put that in the presenter notes. You'll see kind of when you're editing your slide, it's like right below it. It says like presenter notes. Put like your script, if you would, in there. Like this is what I would say when I'm talking about this slide. And that can be like a paragraph long. That doesn't have to be short. That could be like literally your script. And as I read that, that'll kind of give me an idea of maybe like what you would have talked about on that slide. So make sure you go through, do that. One thing in there, it does talk about transitions. I know Excel's got all these fun transitions of like fade and star and all that. You can use them. I'm not saying don't use them, but I'll be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of them. About the only transition I ever like is like if I've got a slide that has like 5 bullet points and I don't want to reveal all 5 bullet points at once, like I'm going to talk through each bullet point, then like that's about the only transition I ever use. So that way, that when I click to that slide, it shows 1 bullet point, and then I click again and it shows the next one, and it kind of progress through the slide that way. That's about the only transition that I personally ever use in a professional setting. I find all the other stuff to just kind of be a little gimmicky, if you would, in my opinion. So my recommendation to you, now I'm not saying you can't do it, and I'm not going to dock you any points if you do it, so don't be afraid of that. I know some people have fun and go in and, like doing all that kind of stuff, but my recommendation would be this: save that for the end, because I'm really going to be looking at the content on the slides, not the transitions. So get all your content built first. Then if you still have time, then go back and add in some transitions if you'd like. It's not terrible to do, especially in this scenario where it's for a class. It gives you, it might take a little bit of time to understand how to set up transitions and stuff, and there's lots of YouTube videos out there if you get stuck. But I would definitely save that to the end, because that's not like the critical part of the assignment. Other than that, I just recommend getting a jump start on it early in the week. Always give yourself more time than you think you'll need, especially within a group setting, right? I don't know how you're going to divvy this out. Maybe the nice thing about the template is you can kind of divvy that out within your group, right? Like, okay, I'll take slides 1 through 3 and you do 3 through 6, etc., etc. So if you want to do it that way, that's great. I would highly recommend that, where there is that good template of what should be on each slide. It should make it pretty standard and easy for you to divvy out. And that's all I really have on the class project for this week. The last thing that I want to talk about is the math for this week, which, good news, there is no new math. You are done learning all the new material for math that this class has to offer. But there is 2 quizzes this week, and they are meant to be review quizzes. So please make sure that you do those and you take your time on those. If you have any questions with the math, then please don't hesitate to reach out and ask me. I'm happy to help. So with that, that's all I really have for this week. I mean, it's really down to the wire here, and the big focus is getting that group assignment done. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out. Hopefully everything's going okay for everyone. Everyone's safe, healthy, and we'll get through this time hopefully sooner than later. All right, well, with that, have a good week. Bye.